Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you, Winston.
And I'm sure for many persons, they may have suspected that you are the man behind the mask. But now we know you are the man behind the mask. Now we know you want to be president. This is Ghana. It's a country where we know it's NPP or NDC. And so when the NPP fails, many Ghanaians look to the NPP. When the NPP fails, many Ghanaians look to the NDC. When the NDC fails, many Ghanaians look to the NPP. Why do you want to be president within such a political system?
Well, there are numerous reasons why I want to be. And first of all, I think, the NPP and NDC system has been going on for almost 4 decades. So that's really my lifetime. And one would have expected more change, in terms of human development and social development. Myself, I'm a developer, I'm an investor, and I've tried to develop landmarks in the country, but the pace of development, I feel like we're still running behind schedule. And I feel like the younger you are, the stronger, the more focused you are with development, with investments. The older you get, you become wiser, but you will not stand in the sun to want to develop a country or develop a place. So, I feel like at this point and at this age, I'm in the right position, I'm in the right frame of mind to be able to contribute to the development of my country and add value to the people, create jobs and, expand the country. I feel like also the time has come for the elders to bring the youth into the system of governance, to see what happens in the 40s, what we can do for our people. And that is one. The second reason is also I feel like the millennials, we are the lockdown generation. In the past 4 years, we've seen a lot in this world, and a lot of people are looking for change. You can see it's probably a global revolution going in all places. Young people are becoming presidents and leaders because they resonate with the youth, and more of these people are around the world. These are people, even if they see an ant, they don't want the ant being killed because they feel like they have a life and you should let them be, and I think the world is drifting towards this side. So
yeah, go ahead.
So these are the people that I also stand for and I relate to, and I feel like my people are ready. So, I'm just preparing for them. So they can push us.
Now, you've talked about you being a developer. You've talked about you being a builder. What is it that you want to do that you cannot do unless you become president?
Well, being a president, it's not a position that will make you do a lot of things, but it gives you room, it gives you the authority, it gives you the support, the laws, the conditions for you to be able to nationally create a developmental scheme that will be suitable for the public, So me being a developer, I'm just restricted to just develop maybe a project. But for me to go into national projects like, building museums, zoos, markets, industrial platforms, I still need the government's sponsorship and their support to be able to get there. So there is that part, and then there is the partnership with the private sector to also expand the development in the country. It's just numerous of things that, being in that position, but not just being a president, but being a part of a government and understanding the pros and cons in the private sector, in the public sector, what needs to be done in terms of development, human development and social development.
So talking about partnership, you're within the private sector. As a country, we've talked about the private sector being the engine of growth for God knows how long. Can't you partner government? Can't you partner the public sector in achieving those dreams and aspirations that you have?
Well, I guess I'm not the only developer in the country. There are quite a lot of people like me.
You can mobilize all of them?
If that could work, it would have probably happened some years back. I think there are some kind of cracks, within the parties. It's who is in power and who they know. And that's how the country is working right now. And I think we should be able to neutralize that. We should be able to give everybody the chance, to come through. It doesn't have to be the fact that MPP is in power, so some particular people would have the chance to have more opportunities in the private sector, or it doesn't have to be the other party and then the other people come in. I think we, as a country, everybody should have the opportunity to be able to explore themselves, and the government should be able to also concentrate on the development of the private sector, because that's what really booms the economy. That's what builds the economy. If these people are growing in the industrial sector, in the commercial sector, then of course the economy definitely becomes stable and the balance is created.
So tell me, what's wrong with Ghana today, and how do you intend to change that thing which you see as wrong with the country?
Well, I'm probably not the only one that might be finding things that are wrong with the country. And I'm not saying other countries doesn't have wrong things happening in there. Almost every country are facing issues, but they find solutions to be able to make living better. We are here because we feel like if we're able to create a middle class economy, all these problems will stop, because we'll be able to move the people from minimum salary to an average salary, and that alone will start to robust the economy.
Okay, so let's get into your plans. Now. I mean, you've talked about the human being, but so we see Ghana in the state in which we are now. For you, as Nana Kwame Bediako, wanting to be president of the Republic of Ghana, in today's Ghana, what is it that you want to change, and how do you want to do it?
Well, the first thing I'll repeat myself again about creating a middle class. Now, I don't want to talk about all the policies here, since we would have the right time to release the policies for everybody to go through. But creating a middle class income, it's just a whole national revamp. You need to first of all think about how you can create industrial platforms. These are the things that are creating 10,000 jobs originally, so you can create hundreds of thousands of jobs around the nation. Being able to make sure that the entire country's economy does not just depend on one city or the capital. It's very important, and I think that's what we're facing right now as a country. Is one of our major problems. Everything surrounds Accra. Okay, so everyone is trying to come to Accra, and then when you look at all the other places, there are people really raking and creating wealth, but those people are not our people. They have just sourced that, okay, there's a concession of lithium here, let's go there. There's a concession of gold here, there's a concession of oil here, and then everybody else is running after labor in Accra. And running away from the regions where they have the right resources that can, create a lot of wealth and create also a balance in the economy. So we are all moving towards one side. When you go to England, it's very different.
Okay. Go ahead.
Manchester on its own, it's a city. Liverpool on its own is a city. They have a football club. They're turning over a lot of economy. People survive there. I mean, people have lived in Manchester maybe 20 years. They've never visited London because they don't need to. They're very proud of their region. They're very proud of their city. I think that this is one of the problems that Ghana is facing now, and we need to sort that out. We need to make Takrady a full city. We need to make Kumasi a full city. We need to make all the other places, full cities, so people can benefit from those areas. And of course, the resources are there, both human and mineral.
Okay, so let's do it this way. In the past, we've had politicians talk. I'm going to do this, and we know, for instance, talking about industrial parks, talking about growth poles, and what have you, cluster development. There's always been that conversation about, okay, so we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Now, what I want to know is how. And the how is very important. It's not just saying, we have the resources and so we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to turn Kumasi into a modern city. How are we going to do that so that we'll be able to achieve the kind of development you talk about?
Great question, Winston. I mean, there's one thing to say, there's another thing is to do it. And
Sure.
I think that we have been saying more than we're doing. So you're just basically repeating what is happening in words. It's very easy for any politician to give you a promise, just to win your vote, and I don't blame them, because that's the system, telling you what you need to hear and then letting you put your thumb up for them. So then when they come to power, it's left for them to do what they promised that they're going to do. But promises are not easy to fulfill, more so than having a hope that would lead you to do something that many cannot do. First of all, we need to understand that, we are not stopping the Western or the other people in the other parts of the world from coming into our country. But we're saying that it's not right for them to come behind our backs and then enter our bushes and start to destroy our water. Instead, we can hire them. They have the template. They have the blueprint of infrastructures, social infrastructures that we can let them do that. It's how you use your finances. But how do I say that I'm capable of doing it? I'm capable of doing it because when you look at my track record, I turned the little that I have, I put it on the ground. I made sure that, all the building permits and all the architectural engineering and all these things, I put on the ground and built, and I created jobs through that. Besides that development, going from residential to commercial and to maybe even industrial, and today we're doing national. We just finished building a zoo anyway in Achimota Forest. But coming back to the industrial, when I started the industrial park, that was 10 years ago. I think that people could not see the vision that we needed industrial park, and at that very point I knew that in a place like the Western region we had a lot of minerals to create petrochemicals. That's why Petronia is being built, and petrochemicals is what you really need to industrialize, to go into manufacturing hub. From paracetamol to cocoa butter, every one of them needs the petrochemicals inside. So first of all, we need to be able to have these to increase the level of our manufacturing, and I don't think we're doing it, but some people are coming to do it if we don't do it. Would you like to sit there and watch somebody to come from China or somebody to come from India and start to use your own minerals to create all of these things for you and resell it to you, as they're already doing? When they take it out, they go and package it over there, and we still fly and go out there and buy it. So we need to change that. It's very simple that we're seeing that we have to find the ways to do that. Now, I'm not saying that I'm the only one that can do it, but together with me and the nation and the resources, we should be able to turn that around. We should be able to bring people from outside to build our roads, to build the plants, to build all of these things, and then we start to buy the things from ourselves instead of going to China or America to buy the things from them, which they already took it from us.
Great, but talking about industrialization and all that, building a petrochemical society, industry and all of that, let's do it this way, and I'll give you an example. So we know, for instance, when Kwame Nkrumah wanted to create a growth pool out of Tema, let's say we created the airport, we built the harbour. After building the harbour, you build certain industries. Now, these industries would depend on the harbour. And as they depend on the harbour, you have services being provided. As the services are being provided, you have other industries coming in to feed those industries. So here, you see what you would term as a sense of cluster. So it is not just, yes, government may have the plan, but of course there should be a sense of cluster, a willingness of businesses to also move. Otherwise, government may have to do it alone, and if businesses do not support, it would fail. We've been talking about a petrochemical industry in the Western region for God knows how long. The question really for many Ghanaians is, these things that you talk about, how sure are they that it's not just one of those things we hear all the time?
Well, certainly. Do you think anybody wants to come out from their country to come and build your petrochemicals for you so you can industrialize your country? No. They think about their country. They're only going to come and take what they can get for themselves and build their country. So you can sit there and say all of this, that, okay, how sure are we? You have to do it. If you don't do it, who is going to do it? That's the question. I think Ghana as a country, we're very much laid back. We're always thinking that somebody is going to come and give us the aid. We have to get up and do it for ourselves. You just said something about Kwame Nkrumah, Winston, and I'm going to take you back there. Do you think what Kwame Nkrumah did maybe 50, 60, 70 years ago, do you think the country is benefiting from it now?
Tell me.
I'm asking you a question.
And I'm asking you the question.
Well, I do. I think they're benefiting, but what do you think?
Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm saying that I think that the country is benefiting from that infrastructure. Okay. What do you think?
I'll tell you my thoughts later on after the discussion.
Oh, you should. You should be able to. Why are you running from the public? We're both facing the public. Okay. Well, since you're not answering, I think I would try and help you answer for yourself. Okay. Today, you are looking at Tema. Tema is probably the most generating income space in the country. Okay? This is where the government gets the most taxes in terms of importation. Everything that comes to this country is running through Tema. So the government gets more money from there than even maybe other GRA taxes. That's one. Two, most industrial platforms are circled around there. You have people that are creating steel, plastic, everything that this country needs. Unfortunately, it's not for any Ghanaian. It's for Indians and Lebanese. Okay? Three, everything that is being imported into this country that was extracted from this country is coming through Tema and not even Takrady. Okay? Now, let's break this analysis down so you can see how much fortune we're washing away. If you look at Tema as a space where all of this is going on in the country, there is not one single find in the place. There is not any mineral. There is no gold, there is no oil, there is no salt, there is nothing. So logistically, it does not make sense for the country. It just happened to be next to the coast. So it's good for logistics. But now look at the Western. The aluminium or the bauxite that they are turning into aluminium is coming from the western part of Ghana. Okay? The gold, the cocoa that they are processing to make chocolate, and chocolate runs 200 billion industry in this world. We're the second producers of it. But yet, we can't say that we even have 10% of that turnover. Okay, it's all from the Western. Okay, now you're looking at other resources like oil and gas. Okay, we have a oil refinery in Tema, but our fine oil is all the way in the Western. So as a country, why can't we go and put an investment of 100 or 200 million to build a refinery right next to where the oil is? Cut the logistics. In 5 years alone, you will save the same money that you invested. Okay, you are looking at how the country is developed without integration, and that's what you're talking about cluster. I would like to refer you back to that. You know what cluster? What you're trying to say, the term for that is integration.
Sure.
You need to develop a country and make sure that it's integrated. There is no point you going to put a factory here, and then you go and put the house in 28 miles away. So the people would take transport every day to go there and back, 56 miles a day. Okay, by 8 years, the money that you're selling the house to them, they would have spent it on transport again. So every development needs integration. Regionally, it has to be like that. And there's no problem for us to copy the white people, what they've done. The system worked over there. We have to replicate it. We're here being pro-black and fighting white people this, white people that. Look, please, they stole our money, they stole our gold, they went to build their country, they did it well. Now we're all running back to there. Okay? It's the best way to defeat your enemy and to show them that you're smarter and wiser is to replicate what they're doing and do it better. So if we start to make our minds to do things that way and start to build our countries just like America, just like Europe, they'll start to respect us. They're not going to come and sit with our leaders and say, oh, let me take your lithium and then I'll build roads for you. You know, let me take the whole concession and I'll do your water sanitation for you. No. They're going to come and they're going to see that, you know, they're reliable citizens in the country. They're people who are living averagely, a middle income people. You cannot come and crash that. These are the visions that I think as a country we should be heading towards, and we should respect our old leaders. What they did was good. Some of the things, some of the vision that, you know, they had for us as a country, it was good intentions. It was because they wanted us to succeed. It was because they wanted us to have education. Look how many universities that came in the 60s, and you look how many roads and infrastructures that were built in the 60s, and look at the 60s to this 2020s. I mean, look, a good 60 years. And today, all our leaders have become musicians and footballers. Okay, they're stars. You can't mistake them for leaders. A leader is a leader. A leader is someone that can go to the people and go down to earth to the people and know what they need and make sure he gives it to them. So he doesn't think about themselves alone. Okay, today we have leadership in this country that it is about just the chair. It's about the position. You know, people are doing whatever they can do just to win. Okay, it's about the country, please. It's about the human beings. If you want to be a president, and I want to be a president. I don't want to be a president because I think it's the highest or the pinnacle position that anyone wants to acquire. I want to be a president because I feel like there is something that the nation is lacking that I can place, I can put, I can add. I feel like there's something in the country that hasn't been developed that I can do. And me feeling like that I can do it, please give me the chance. Let me do it. Let me do it. I have the energy. I have the time. I have the grace. I have the glory. It's not like, I have 5 years more to live life or something. I feel like, I'm halfway through my life, or a little bit, over halfway through my life. But there is still energy here. There is still power here. I can do.
Right.
Thank you.
We're talking to Nana Kwame Bediako. If you just joined us, of course, this follows his announcement of his intention to run for president. So our guest has been telling us about his vision. Nana Kwame Bediako. Freedom Jacob Caesar.
Kojo.
Cheddar.
Yes.
Which name will be on the ballot?
I think Nana Kwame Bediako is my household name, and as you all know, Nana is a title that we Ghanaians give, so I'm very proud of it. And Kwame being born on Saturday, you guys already know what the Saturday borns are about. You saw Kwame Nkrumah, you've seen Patrice Lumumba, they were all Kwames. It means the Saturday people are visionaries. We like to have a vision. In fact, out of the 7 days in a week, it is only Saturday that says you sit to think, and to see how your week had gone and how your week that is coming, will go about. So I like to be called Nana Kwame. Bediako means I came to fight to win, maybe Diako. So that's me. Now, a lot of people get or try to figure out who Freedom Jacob Caesar is and who Nana Kwame Bediako is. Let me use this moment to explain that. Freedom Jacob Caesar is a character that is built for the African continent. There has to be a leader, there has to be a prince, there has to be a voice, there has to be an influence, a character that can convince and influence the youth. So that character was built for that. How to bring the youth together and make sure that Africa is now singing with one voice. We are moving with one voice. So that's that character. But Nana Kwame Bediako is for you. In Ghana, I'm here and I represent you.
We've also seen on social media the Prince of Africa.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, what's that about?
Well, yeah, just exactly that. Nobody claimed that title. I had to claim it, I mean, we've sat here and we watched Coming to America with people talking about Prince of Zamunda and creating studio princes and everything. Now you have a real one. You got to reject it. I'm right here,
Is that what you are?
What? Yes.
A real prince?
A real prince. A real prince. I think that being a prince, it means that, you fall under some kin, okay? The son of a kin, and that's royalty. But I believe that the King of Africa, it's the omnipotent above us. It's God. This is a continent, an island that is full of gold, diamonds, oil. This is not for us. There's no king. There's no man that can be a King of Africa except for God. And I said that's the title I want. And he said, go for it. And I claimed it. So now I am your prince.
Right. There are some who, upon hearing that title, are reminded of what became quite common some years ago, these scammers who tell foreigners that they are princes just to attract their wealth.
No, not Freedom Jacob Caesar. We don't have time for that. Look, we have created wealth, we have built wealth through the wisdom that we have acquired on this earth since we came here. The knowledge, all the things we learned in school, I might not even remember anything, but the wisdom and knowledge that God has bestowed upon me, please, I use it very well. I don't have time to go and use some princes and kings to acquire anything. In fact, you should remember this: the Western world doesn't have much for us than we do for them. Okay? What do you think you can bring from America or Europe to Africa? They will not even let you bring $10 million. Where are you going to pass them? Where? If you take it through the airport, you can put 50,000 pounds in a bag. They will have dogs catching the bag, sniffing that where are you taking the money to. Okay? They are not jokers. They are not going to let you take the money out of their country. It's only we Africans that will let people take billions and trillions out of our country. You know why? Because we don't value what has been given to us. We need to understand to take care of what has been put into our hands. Okay? When Moses decided to take care of the Israelites, God gave him the power, the courage, and the miracles because he became responsible for them. If we as a country decide to be responsible for our people, for our resources, for our gold, trust me, in 10 years, you will see the whole thing turning around. the human beings will start to be happy. And when they are happy, the economy will start to boom. When they are stressed, the economy will stress. Okay? When you take the value from your people, your country will have no value. When you add value to the people, your country will start to have value. Look, it's there. You can see it clearly. When you go to America, they give value to the people. Okay, they find a way to let them eat. They find a way to kill them. There's insurance. The people don't die easily in America. Okay, and if you do kill someone, also you pay for it. It's not like Ghana where someone can just kill someone and some police will take bribe and let them walk away. No, you need to be serious about human life. You need to be serious about the minerals that God has given you. This gold is forever. 1 year, 1 million years, it will still be alive if you put it even in fire. So we need to take hold of what we've been given, and we need to nurture it. We need to make sure that we refurbish them, we refine them, we manufacture them and package them, and make sure we distribute it amongst ourselves.
Now, until recently, we didn't know you to be a political person. We saw you in the company of celebrities. You've invited several, Floyd Mayweather and several others. You've spent time with them. We've invited some of them to Ghana to enjoy your hospitality. We see your social persona as being, quite a member of the glitterati, if you will. Taking lots of very amazing photo shoots with, cars and animals, tigers and lions and so forth. It's no surprise you're building a zoo, right? But at what point did your political consciousness get birthed? At what point did you stop being, for want of a better word, a celebrity and decide to become a politician?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not a politician. Truly, I don't understand the pros and cons of politics. In fact, like I tell people, I don't even know how to become an assemblyman. I don't know what to do if you tell me to become an MP or a minister. And that's why I went straight for the top post, because I think that's where you do what is right. You are asking me that what has put me in this position of the political industry.
Yeah, why the change?
I feel like I am a risen leader. And this is some kind of calling, and I've always followed the voice. I've always followed what I believe in and what the voice is telling me where to go. But in life, everybody wants to live life. I have surrendered my life. The only thing that I have between life and death is time, and that's what I used the most in terms. I use it to my best potential. Why do I say that? Because when you're 20 or when you're 15 and you want to be a footballer, it's likely you can be a footballer. But when you turn 27 and you're still thinking to be a footballer, it's too late. Maybe you should think of being a coach, because the time is gone. And this is the right time that I felt like, I have to go into that presidency. When the voice came to me, I moved with it, because the voice has come to me many times and I moved with it. And you wonder why I was with all those celebrities and this and that. Okay, for me, you might see like I'm living a celebrity life. No, it's me cherishing my relationships with people and letting them respect my vision, my understanding, my commitment, my loyalty to them, and I have to be in their paths, in their lane. But you can tell my friends are boxers, my friends are musicians, my friends are footballers, my friends are also presidents, my friends are all type of people, my friends are pastors. In fact, my best friend is blind and he's called Brown. So I have all type of friends, but I don't think the country has ever looked at me from that angle.
They haven't showed us.
Well, they're just looking at the glittery part and who is the star and all of that. Look, don't just concentrate on the messenger. You need to concentrate on the message. Hence, that's why I came with the mask. Because I was asking the country, which one are you choosing? Are you choosing the face that you want to find? Or you're going to look for the message that this person is bringing?
That's an interesting point. I wish we could explore that in the little time we have left. This idea of a focus on the message and not the messenger. You're running for public office. You are running for the president of Ghana. This is a country where, and you can be forgiven since you admit you're not a politician, but this is a country where we have a constitution that gives so much power to the president. that in essence he can do pretty much what he wants. The law will support him. For such a powerful role, the person is very important. How are you going to convince voters to ignore the person in favor of the message?
Well, you see, when I said the message and then not the messenger, it doesn't mean you should ignore the messenger. First of all, if you concentrate on the message, you will see the fruit in the message. You will see the knowledge in the message. You will see and feel the wisdom in the message. Then you start to look at the person now. That's when you start to build the value in the person. Okay, it took time for people to even accept some of the leaders like Roosevelt and let's take Jesus Christ for instance, and some of the great leaders that have been in this world, Mansa Musa and all of these people. In the beginning, his message was very clear to the people, and it took them time to see that Mansa Musa had 12,000 slaves, 34,000 camels, and 50,000 followers, meaning real followers, not Instagram followers, but real followers. And then in the end, it's when they realized that this guy was a true king. So sometimes the end justifies the means. It's not the beginning. The beginning, people will want to hear. People will want to hear your words, that if you say you're going to do this, do it, and let's see. That's the message. Everybody's waiting for it. They're not looking at you. They're not looking at what you're wearing. They're not really looking at, how you come across. No, they want to see that these words that you shared with them, these promises or this hope that you brought, how is that going to be implemented or manifested? And after that, that's when the greatness in you is perceived by the people. So that this is what I believe. I think I would, in my humble opinion, I would rather advise the average African or black person that, don't worry about how they should look at you from the beginning, okay? Just concentrate on the message and how you can do what you're supposed to do, and let the people in the end, decide,
They say that the value of what we do is not in what we produce, but in what is consumed. So the goal for you is that you want your message to be consumed, more importantly than your personality.
Absolutely.
In today's Ghana, as you are going into an election in 2024, following the past two elections where people have come with very strong messages, slogans, and come with catchy words, which unfortunately, by the summation of many Ghanaians, they have failed to live up to. Are you not worried that in your case, people are not as willing to consume the message before the person? Are you not worried that perhaps the person you have shown to Ghanaians might make it difficult for some Ghanaians to consume your message?
Well, first of all, I think that you're only seeing message as something that is verbal. Okay? Message comes in different things. Your action sometimes delivers messages. Okay? Your development, your investment that you put in humanity, it sometimes sends the message to people. Okay? The greatest people in this world are not mostly remembered by what they wore or how they appeared on stages, but at the time that they were on stage, what they said and how that influenced people. That's what most people are remembered by. The greatest people are also remembered by the investment that they put in people. It could be how they cared genuinely to make a change, and they made sure that that change transpired. And then when they were not there, they became a legacy. They were remembered by that legacy. So for me, I just want to let you understand, Kojo, that a lot of these messages that we're talking about here is going to be based on actions, implementations, manifestations, doing, executing it, and then in the end, the message will be spelt in the hearts of people. But that's what I call message. It's not just me coming and saying that I will do this, that's my message. I think that, I don't know if it's a point of correction, but that's what I see as a message. I would choose this over somebody telling me to wear a suit and tie and go and stand in front of UN so I can give a speech, and it would take me 3 days to write that speech. And I think that's a message from my country. Honestly, from where I've come from and where I'm going, it doesn't make full sense to me. I think it's impression, and I don't like to dwell on impression. I really believe that the new leaders who are coming, in a revolutionary forum that can really make a change, and not just based it on the words or the speeches that you're going to give.
Our guest is Nana Kwame Bediako. He hopes that by this time next year you'll be calling him President Nana Kwame Bediako. Of course, he has a very well-known social life here in Ghana, and after many years of being in the public eye, he has now stepped into the political ring, throwing his hat in, wanting to be president. Now, this was a very recent development, Nana Kwame, because and for some time now we knew of the new force. Commercials were all over the country. The new force, we saw billboards and posters. Weren't sure who this new force was, who was the face behind the mask, and then you announced just a few days ago that all along it was you. Now, of course, this came up following an attempt to host a convention here in Accra, which was aborted when the presidency withdrew your permission to hold the event at the Black Star Square.
So
I want to start with the criticisms that were leveled once the event got cancelled. And of course, you then announced your bid for presidency. Immediately, people said, okay, well, then why were you organizing this event for people to come over, obviously in support of your vision, when you intend to be president of Ghana, and you really know that you shouldn't be involving foreigners in your in our politics?
You call them foreigners? You see, we're forgetting about who we are. We're black people and we are Africans. If you take a Togolese, a Nigerian, a Ghanaian, Ashanti, and someone from Kowu, and even a black person from America or Jamaica, put them in a plane and send them to China, ask the Chinese man, who are these people? He's just going to say black people from Africa. He will have no description for them, but it's just the way you sort of describe them. Now let me come back to the new force. I want everybody to understand that the new force is not some third force trying to come and fight the two existing giants who are here. The new force is a new force. Okay? We are the first of its kind. Okay? Since the days of Nkrumah, after 60 years, this is the only time and the only moment that the country is witnessing that some young people have come, they've risen, and they are asking for a change of leadership. So that is how, first of all, you need to see the new force. Well, we coming in that mask is telling you that we are anonymous. Okay? Anonymous, being anonymous is not a bad thing. Because when you go back to our history, that was how we were powerful. Okay, we were powerful because people could not recognize us. All the faces were painted with dots and all of these things. And even if you went to war, you need to be vigilant, you need to be focused, you need to be careful to see your opponent, else you'll be killing your own sister or brother. Do you understand what I'm saying? Today, we have lost our identity. We have identity crisis. All our people are spread all over the world. Black American, black British, black Jamaican, all of these things. We want to be able to bring all of these things back, but we have started a movement that people are very much interested in. This is the only time politics in Ghana people in Jamaica are interested in, people in America are interested in. You can follow the trend. You will see it for yourself. People are interested in who is this new force and why is the new force trying to start a convention in Africa. Okay, in Africa, the convention is to bring leaders and voices together. We igniting our voices and talking about how Africa should be governed, how Africa's resources and our minerals and human resources should actually lead us into the 24 Global Economic Forum. It's not a crime. This is something that the youth needs. This is something that our leaders need. This is something that all people need. So for us, we just wanted to say to Ghanaians and Africans that this is an opportunity, is the time for us to come together as Africans, and me mobilizing those 4 people. As you can clearly see, 2 of them are politicians and 2 of them are activists. I brought them together into one place, in one country, in the Independence Square, so their voice can be a part of this new movement that is going to shape Africa's future. And that's all that it was about. However people would perceive it and then narrate it, for us, we know the genuine intentions, and you already have seen that it's not easy to bring such people into one place. You saw what happened. You realize that the whole Africa is interested in why it was cancelled. They are not interested in the masked man or the new force, or no. They are just interested in why was it cancelled.
I'm being signaled that our time is up.
Yes, time is up.
Yes, but
we have to do this again.
Well, we're going to try and do it again, and next time I think that you guys will book me and you have to give me some, like, give me some, give me some money too, But I think, I'm glad that you guys brought me and gave me the chance, and, we've had this conversation. Kojo and I go way back, I think he's also a fashionista, so we have something in common. and yes, Winston, it's the first time I'm meeting you, but I'm glad meeting you and everything. I'm sorry I have to rush to the other side for
JoyNews.
Yeah, I like to be on TV too. I like to be on radio, but I also like my face to be seen, and I don't want to miss that opportunity where people can look into my eyes, and questions that they want to ask me, I can answer them, and I can also connect and interact with the nation. So please forgive me that I have to run, but definitely, Winston, we're gonna have to do it again. It's great. It's great talking to you guys.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
Nana Kwame Bediako, this is not the last time you'll be hearing him on this show. That's a promise.